Hello everyone. Welcome to today's session. My name is Professor Snehal Sadavarte from Rajgarh Institute of Management, Research and Development. Today's session is for MBA second year, semester 3rd. The course code is 305. The subject name is HR Operation, HR Specialization. Unit 1, Human Resource Administration. The content of the unit, Human Resource Administration. First one is the definition, nature, scope, objective, structure of HR administration department, HR administration policy and its types. Let's start with the HR administration. The introduction of the HR administration is another term for the human resource or the HR personnel. The HR administration consists of HR administration management is the obtaining, using and maintaining a satisfied workforce. It is concerned with the employees at work and with their relationship within the organization. HR administration management is the administrative discipline of hiring and developing employees so that they become more valuable to the organization. It includes conducting job analysis, planning HR administration needs and recruitment, selection, the right people for the job, orienting and training, determining and managing wages and salaries, providing benefits and incentives, praising performance, resolving disputes, communicating with all employees at all levels. HR administration management includes the function of employment, development and compensation, which are performed primarily by the HR administration management in consultation with other departments. Now, let's explain with the definition of HR administration. By the Professor Jesus, personal administration is the field management which has to do with the planning, organizing, directing and controlling various operative functions for procuring, developing, maintaining and utilizing a labor force such that the objective for which the company is established are maintained economically and effectively. According to this definition, personal administration is concerned with the manpower management for maintaining or attaining the organizational goal. The personnel management is concerned with the obtaining and maintaining for the satisfactory and satisfied workforce. George R. Gary. The Terry has emphasized the view that the personnel management is not only concerned with the employing sufficient number of workers but also satisfying their needs. He has concerned the supply of workforce and meeting their requirement as an important task for the personnel management. Now next is the nature of HR administration. There are 5 natures of HR administration. First one is managing people, concern with employees, helping employees, universal applications and continuous application. Let's explain one by one. The nature of HR administration. First one is managing people. Now the HR administration is concerned with managing people at work. It does not manage only organized or unorganized worker in the organization, but everyone working in the enterprise. It covers all persons including clerical staff, executive and managers. Second one, concern with employees. The HR administration deals with employees both as individual as well as in groups. The aim is to motivate people for getting best result from them. Helping employees. The employees are helped to develop their talent fully by providing them appropriate opportunities. This will give them job satisfaction and may improve their performance at work. Fourth one is the universal application. HR administration may be used everywhere and in every type of organization. It is equally useful in our government, semi-government, non-profit organization as is beneficial to industrial and commercial houses. Now fifth one is the continuous application. HR administration management is continuously used in every type of situation. It is not something which may be used here and there or how and they. In the word of George Terry, he explained that it cannot be turned on or off like water from the faucet. It cannot be precise only 1 hour each day or 1 day a week. The HR administration management require a constant alertness and awareness of the human relation and their importance in everyday operations. Now next one is the scope of HR administration. There are number of scopes in HR administration in the organization. First one is the employment function. Second is formulation of promotion of policy. Third one is the training function or the development functions. Fourth one, job analysis. Fifth one, merit rating. Sixth one is the job evaluation. Seventh, compensation. And eighth one is the providing service and benefits. These are the 8 scope of HR administration. Let's see one by one. Employment function. It covers area connected with the employment of employees such as manpower requirement, recruitment, selection, placement and induction. Second one is the training function or development function. In order to perform work properly, employees must be trained. This function is concerned with increasing the efficiency of employees by enhancing their skills. Formulation of promotion policy. This function deals with formulation of policy setting out the basis of promotion. For example, seniority, merits or both. Fourth one is the job analysis. In job analysis, factors concerning job are analyzed such as skill, responsibility, working condition, training, qualification, etc. It is concerned with anatomy of a job. It is a detailed study of job from all angles. Fifth one is the merit rating. It refers to the evaluation of employee's performance after he has been placed on the job. Sixth one is the job evaluation. In order to know the worth of job in terms of money, job evaluation process may be undertaken. Compensation. This function deals with the determination of fair wages for the employees. Wages may be paid according to the time spent or unit proceed, or there may be a combination of time and piece rate system in the form of incentive plans. Eighth and last one is the providing service and benefits. This function is concerned with the provision of good working conditions and other benefits such as safety provision, counseling, medical services, recreational facilities, and the scope of HR administration management is changing over the years. Now, some objectives of the HR administrations are as follows. The objective of HR administration are to ensure effectively utilization of human resource. All other organizational resources will be effectively utilized by the human resource. Second one is the to establish and maintain an adequate organizational structure and desirable working relationship among all the members of the organization by dividing organization tasks into function, position, jobs, and by defining clearly the responsibility, accountability, authority for each job and its relation with other jobs in the organization. Third objective is to generate maximum development of human resource within the organization by offering opportunities for advancement to the employees through training and education, or by affecting the transfer or by offering retaining the facilities. Fourth objective is to identify and satisfy the needs of individual by offering various monetary and non-monetary rewards. Fifth one is the to ensure respect of human beings by providing various services and welfare facility to the HR administration. Sixth one to achieve and maintain high morale among the employees in the organization by securing better human relations. These are the objectives of HR administration. Now, let's see the structure of HR administration department. The figure shows that these are the department wise function. The employee relation, compensation and benefits department, recruiting department, training and development department, health and safety department. Human resource department are often organized along the functions and many be hierarchical in nature. Common unit in human resource department including recruiting, training and development, compensation and benefits, administration, health and safety, and employee and labor relations. For the Department of Administration structure, here is some example of the chemistry lab, which is the head of department is James Taylor, who is the head of this department. Now, the head of department is divided into the two parts. Head of IT, that is overall responsibility for strategic planning and running of the department computing and IT facility for research, teaching and administration. Manages computer teams, secretary of the computer service committee, which is observed by Tim Deacon. Next one is the academic secretary. The assisting HOD with development of department policy, strategy, financial strategy and planning. Again, the recruitment and academic staff consult on post-doc recruitment handled by Howard Jones. Next department is the departmental safety officer, which is the manage health and safety in the department and has overall responsibility for the development, implementation and maintenance of the safety system and procedure. This safety department is again divided into the four parts, that is deputy head of the department with responsibility of staff. Next one is the support service manager, personal manager for all category of staff, recruitment of contract, academic related and assistant staff, management of support service including building facility and maintenance. Next one is the welfare training and development department, which is routine support for the staff related to all personal issues, for example welfare development, training and well-being. Next again welfare training department is divided into the two parts, which is research personnel clerk, that is in PT, the routine administration of postgraduate, postdoc and visitor through registration to prohibited. Next is the personnel administration, day-to-day administration of the staff related issues, for example assistant staff support, existence, consultation and postdoc letters, stationery suppliers and the car parking administration. Now next one is the academic secretary is again divided into the two parts, that is the research grant advisor and graduate student advisor. And third one is the secretary to HOD. The secretary to HOD is day-to-day administration supporting the HOD. Next one is the research grant advisor, day-to-day administration of research grant, assisting please with the grant applications, post-award grant management, maintaining department grants database, general ledgers and the donation account. Next, that is the graduate student advisor, day-to-day administration of graduate admission and the current graduate training, transferable skill training and the department database. This is a structure of Department of Chemistry administration structure, and this structure is followed by all department of the organization. The HR policies and procedures are the very important aspects of the workplace. They offer protection to employees, provide guidance to management, and ensure that the organization comply with government regulations and mandates. They offer protection by ensuring consistency and elimination subjectives. A good HR policy provides generalized guidance on the approach adopted by the organization and therefore its employees concerning various aspects of the employment. A procedure spell out specially what action should be taken in line with the policy. The human resource management consists of deliberate organizational activities designed to improve the employee productivity and administration through such means by recruitment, compensation, performance evaluation, training, record keeping and compliance. The HR policies should be developed for key HR management functions covering the 8 commonly concepts responsibilities: the compensation and benefits, labor management relations, employment practices and placement, workplace diversity, health, safety and security, human resource information system, human resource research and training and development. Following steps should be taken when formulating or advertising the policy. Gain understanding of the corporate culture and its shared values. Analyze existing policies, both the written and unwritten existing policies. Analyze external influence. HR policies are subject to the influence of many legislation, regulation and authorities. Thus, the code of practice issued by the professional institution should also be consulted. Assess any area where new policies are indeed needed or existing policies are inadequate. Check with managers, preferable starting with the organization leadership team, on their review above HR policies and where the link could be approved. Seek the view of the employees about the HR policies, especially to the extent for which they are inherently fair and equitable and are implemented fairly and constantly. Seek the view of the union representative. Next one is the analyze the information written in the previous step and prepare the draft policy. Consult, discuss and agree on a policy with management and union representative. In order to write the first draft of the policy, the step 7 have started. The following content should be included. For example, the name, policy name, effective date of the policy and the date of any revision, approval status. On this stage, the status should be drafted. The reference list other policies and documents related to their policy. Then purpose of the policy, what is it intended to promote or achieve. Maintain policy statement. Then definition of any key concepts or term mentioned in the policy needed to be defined. Eligibility or scope, any stakeholders are covered by the policy. How to deal with the potential expectation. How to deal position in the organization responsibility for the implementing and monitoring the policy. Procedure for carrying out the policy, preferably written in number steps. Now let's see the types of HR policy. HR policy could be classified on the basis of source or description. On the basis of resources, the human resource policy could be classified into or following. First one is the organized policy. These are the policies usually established by the senior manager in order to guide their subordinates. Second one is the implicit policy. These are the policies which are not formally expressed. They are inferred from the behavior of manager. They are also known as implied policies. Next, third one is the imposed policy. Policies are sometimes imposed on the business by external guidance such as government, trade association and trade union. Next, fourth one is the appealed policy. The appealed policy arises because the particular cases is not covered by the earlier policy. So, in order to know how to handle some situation, subordinates may request or appeal for the formulation of specific policies. Next one is on the basis of description. The following policies may be generated or specified. First one is the general policy. These policies do not relate to any specific issue in the particulars. General policy are formulated by the organization leadership team. This kind of policy is called as general because they do not relate to any specific issue in particulars. Second, specific policy. These policies are related to specific issues like staffing, compensation, competitive bargaining. Specific policies must be conformed to the pattern laid down by the general policy. So here our topic is covered. Now next one topic for the next period, that is the part 2, human resource administration. Thank you so much.